Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Planet of the Apes retrospective. I am But Why? Trasnell, and I'm joined by.
I am the mutant Kirkland Patzer.
Yes, we hopefully should be joined by Taylor Field at any second. He's in the forbidden zone right now. He saw some fire and he just started running to like a madman. But yeah, we got lots to talk about today. But yeah, I'm not sure. I guess it'll be coming out like April, Marchish. I don't know what's going on in the geek realms. But as always, if you like what we do, or if you're just listening to this to now, you went, hey, I want to get all the rest of those episodes. Probably by the time this is out for the public, everything. And we're doing every single Planet of the Apes movie. We're even going back to the newest one. Because I think the newest one's also... You want to get a date there, Kirkland? When did War for the Planet of the Apes come out? Because our rule is we don't retrospective movies that haven't been 5 years older, at least. And I think that fits now. I feel like it's been 5 years.
2017.
Oh, so, yeah, we're gold.
5 years.
Gold. Yeah. And none of us, other than Taylor, were... Actually, I can't remember if Taylor was on it. I think it was just Briggs and Dylan, actually. Or I can't remember. Something like that. But, yeah, we're going to do them all. We're going to do the original series here. We're doing the remake, and we're doing the trilogy, all the lead up to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And at this time, Kirkland, it's like months old. But you saw the trailer. We were recording this at the time that... what is it? Marvels came out. Did you like that trailer? The Apes movie?
Yeah, that was the first time I'd seen the trailer. It was in the big screen. I liked it. I it's funny because I haven't seen... There's been 2 since the Franco one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I haven't seen any of those. I've only seen that first one. So obviously a lot has happened since the end of that first movie to what they're showing off here in this trailer. So it's been a big jump. It seems like the Apes kind of won that battle.
Yeah, as always. They find a way.
It looked really good. So yeah, I would say I'm excited, and especially now that we're going through these Apes movies.
Yeah.
Very different vibe than what I got on that big screen trailer. But yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to have any monkeys shooting at nukes in that one. Who knows? But we'll see.
Who knows? Maybe that's how it ends, right?
Mm-hmm. Find the big bomb, and that's how they get rid of it. God damn. So, as usual, head down. The links for everything you need to know is down below. Video feeds, audio feeds, Patreon. As we're just talking about, you can get episodes ad-free. You can get them early, get exclusive episodes. I'm sure there's some good bread and butter and original stuff happening right now. And yeah, just subscribe on video, Facebook. Let us know what you think. Give us a review. That'd be positive. That'd be great. And yeah, head over to Discord. That's always popping off, and it's always a good time over there. So we are going to be talking about today's episode, Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Sequel. Oh, look at this. It's just almost just like Brent. He came in very last here. There we go. So, Kirkland, give me your rating out of 10 on this movie. we're closing it out. Oh, and we're joined by...
2,000 years, Taylor Field.
Were you worried for a second?
No,
you
no,
passed
no,
out.
Oh, yeah.
We had predictions. We had predictions of what was going on.
Oh.
Yeah. We thought Master was just tearing your shit down again. You're like, no, leave it.
Oh, no,
I just printed this. Yeah. You're out. Well, we haven't gone anywhere yet, so I'll give you a little more time to recover. I'm going to go first because there's a method of why I'll go first, and people know if they're long-time listeners. If not, I'll explain after. I don't know, boys. What the fuck happened here? I don't really know. Like, and that's where I'll go because I try to go negative to positive most of the time. And I don't know what these gentlemen's feelings are like, but I know what mine are like. And I really don't know. I gave my feelings like a little bit last week when we recorded this because it's just hard not to. And I said we should do this as a topic at one point. And luckily in our timeline, this actor strike is done. So we'll begin movies and stuff again. But maybe in the future at some point, low times we'll do it because think about a sequel when you have a great movie to such a drop down. This to me is easily on a top 10 list. I think I could make a case for number 1. And there's like 2 minds of it I'll try to go from, like what they should or could have done. It's none of this. Like, I watch Planet of the Apes and then I get to this is like, oh, this is what they should be doing. And then, okay, if I'm basing it on take out the expectations, right? Because I feel like even as a kid, I felt this way. It's like, what? Like, this is really odd. I was happy Charlton Heston was back in it, but I was thrown off by the whole thing, and we'll get into it. But okay, so throw out because you never should remove the movie or review the movie. It's not right. Okay, throw out what I thought it should have been, and then when it actually is. When you have the first 5+ minutes we were talking about this today of the movie just being the ending of the first movie, that's not a good sign. And this movie's only an hour and a half already. So it's about short. 25 minutes shorter than the other one. the first half an hour is almost just a remake of the first one. Like it's not, but it's like it's the exact same scenarios. And then we meet this organization. I think it's one of these things that it doesn't flow. It's tough because you can't watch it on its own, so it doesn't work that way in a sequel. And I think if you're watching as a continuation, it really doesn't work. It feels very sped up. It feels where we left off, and not even some of the mutant stuff, just in general, the route we were going with the apes. It's a big escalation, and it's weird. There's some stuff they bring up here, like there's the apes and gorillas infighting. They have these the monkeys. Actually, at one point, some of them have signs, and they're picketing and annoying change. It's just like, there's signs where it's like, oh, that's the way, like, I thought they would have been going. If you look at the first movie and all the signs they were pointing towards, no pun intended about the signs, but like, it just feel like, oh, this would have been a more natural course, where this is a complete 180. This is going off a cliff. I don't really understand it. And that's why this movie, in its sense, is still not good. The action's like kind of messy and rushed. Not that the first one had great action, but there's just like multiple times where people getting shot and there's no blood anywhere. And it's just like, this was a successful big movie. But we talked about, I'll talk about too, there was a reason why also, like, some of the monkeys, they don't look as good as the first one. There was a lot of reasons towards that. So yeah, it's a messy movie. It feels rushed. It really wanted Charlton Heston back for the full thing, and it doesn't get it. So, like, he closes the movie and he ends the movie. Like he's not our main character, but they sure frame him that way. And yeah, like, I'm trying to think of positives. I got stories about Heston coming back. I don't think he like phoned it in. He's not in it too much. So I don't think he like phoned it in. Like I said, some of those kind of infighting between apes, but I don't really have much here. This is a tough one, and like I said, this was one even as a kid I do not watch much. I always just jump to Escape after this. I usually never watch this one because there's not much. It's just like a lesser than version thrown in with some heavy like I'm curious how much cocaine these people had when they were doing this movie, because I don't see the natural evolution from Planet of the Apes to Beneath. It is a complete mess, and I'm excited to talk about, because there's many times that I'm just like, what was going on here? Like, what was the thinking? And yeah, it's undescribable. It feels like one of those movies we read when you read a sequel and it got canceled. Like, oh yeah, good thing. That sounded like it was awful. But it's like made it through. Again, there's a reason it made it through. I'll get to it in the trivia. They were having some budgetary issues, like just overall the company. So that's why they're pushing movies that they thought could make a profit on. So yeah, I'm not a fan of this movie. Not even in like a nostalgia. I think if we were to watch this all together in the room, we'd have a great time. But that's the example of watching with a group of people and watching alone. And watching it alone, man, do I feel alone watching this piece of shit. Yeah. So yeah, not for me, but I'm excited to talk about with you guys, because there's quite a few ridiculous things. So
yeah, you said you were curious, but the faces of the people in the writers' room were probably like this when they got that final draft.
The studio came here hopeful for a good movie.
Yeah, this was a very, very strange one, because obviously I like just coming off that first episode that we did, you were kind of warning me about the quality, like the dip in quality.
You've never seen this, right?
I definitely have seen this. I
Okay.
didn't think I had, but like back in the day on the VHS collection, I must have just seen them all and just kind of
You can't
caged
forget
those
the ending.
memories.
You can't forget
Yeah.
the people.
There was many hitting points, and like certain characters that I totally remembered like as soon as I saw them. So although like I did see it before, I feel like I still was just shocked with certain events that came, and yeah, this was such a perplexing film, because like I really, really enjoyed that first one. I thought what they did with just like the concepts of the apes treating the humans, like that was just so interesting. And to come to this one, although I had low expectations, I just was absolutely shocked of like where we actually went with the plot in this. It really just felt like a really, really, really bad fan fiction, but like they still had like the actors and characters and like the props from the first movie. So it was like almost like Star Wars Christmas special, where they had like all the actors back, but it's like, what is actually going on screen? This is just so strange to put two and two together. And that's really how this one felt, because it just seems like you said, a lesser than version of the first one. I just feel like this is a completely different film, that they really have like probably less than 10 minutes of actual like the society aspect of the Planet of the Apes, and like it just seems like they weren't like like they didn't even go through the events of the first movie other than that opening like 5-minute sequence. It was really, really separated, and I just had such a hard time getting through this movie, even though it was so much so much shorter. I remember I just like paused it later in the film. There was like 17 minutes left. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, how did I get to the end here? It's just I was in this weird psychedelic state of just watching this movie. Just it was so strange. I was definitely laughing out loud, but it was not as fun of experience that the first movie has, because it's a very lonely film to be watching alone. Whereas like the first movie, when I watched that one alone, and I just felt like I was having a good time. I was totally engaged. But this one, it had me head scratching multiple times. But I definitely echo what you said of just like as soon as it started, of like the ending of the last film, I feel like that was kind of like my peak of interest, because I'm just remembering that first movie, and then we have a recreation of like Taylor part two. I almost thought it was like a dream sequence, that this is just like a different telling of these characters, because he even looked like the actor looks very similar to Charlton
Even
Heston
the apes
too.
are like, Taylor's back.
That's how I felt.
And that's why, like, you're right, where it's not the whole movie's a lesson, it's just that first half an hour, because it's like the same. That we'll go over like them landing, them find the apes. He looks like Heston, and like I'll find the actor's name because I can't remember who it is, but like no disrespect to him,
James Franciscus or something like that.
James Franciscus, like no, like no disrespect to him, and I don't think he's bad in here. I think he's just given a task to be Charles Heston like, and you can't like you can't. Yeah, see, I'm Charlton Heston. You can't. Charlton Heston is so charismatic that even if this guy is has charisma, it feels like he has none of it, because like you're just like, there's something about, like we said before, there's something about Taylor in that movie where he's not a great guy, but you're still rooting for him, and it's just that it's a very Jack Nicholson-esque, where there's something about him where this, it's like you get no time to, you learn less about this guy than you did with Taylor, and he's alone. He doesn't even have, his first buddy dies just like right away, so it's like he has more time alone than
murdered. We don't know.
He doesn't want to conserve the water and stuff, but it's just tough, because I feel like, I don't think he's bad. It's just they just made a prototype. It's like they wrote it for Heston. He's like, no, like I'd rather just do like 10 minutes. Like, oh, okay. Well, who else do we got? Well, we got this guy. He looks a lot like him, and we'll talk about it now. I was gonna wait till later. The fucking weirdest, I've never realized this in my life. I'm watching it today. I had to pause, because why is Charlton Heston so much bigger than this actor? This looks like Charlton Heston with his son. And like, I'm telling you, people,
looks like Gandalf Frodo, like the way that they did like the Force perspective.
Like, I'm telling you, and this is a photo on film. It looks even crazier in full screen. I saw it in like, Heston towers over, like, look at even his arm length. He looks like he's about to pick up this small child. Like, oh, Dad. Like, I could not believe how much bigger Heston was than him. Like, oh my God. Just baby Brent right there. And like, before it goes, my favorite thing is like, maybe it's because he went missing, so Brent would think like Taylor's famous. But when he gets in jail, so he's like, Taylor? And then Taylor turns around and he's like, you're Brent, I think, right? Like at every turn, they cut this character down to like not be as important. But, what can you do?
What can you do?
Taylor, what do you feel about this? First of all, I guess, had you seen this movie before, Beneath the Planet of the Apes? And now what are you thinking of it?
Oh yeah, I've seen all of them before, and this one,
well, just maybe someone's first episode, just go.
This one,
you idiot! Why would you ask me that?
Why would you ask me? This
it's like me holding my penis.
This one, I like everything up until we get to the crazy advanced psychic humans. That's pretty much it.
You like everything, so you're fine. That's just kind of like,
I'm totally okay with it being similar in certain attributes to like the first one, or aspects, I guess. In retrospect, now when you mention all those things, it totally is a carbon copy in some degrees, and but
like they land, someone dies, he meets Nova, they get captured, Cornelius and Zira. again are shocked that there's a talking human, even though they just met like you can talk like Cornelius actually.
How long has it been since Charlton Heston has like left the village too? It's not like it's been years where they like completely forgot about him. Just
probably.
But Cornelius is absolutely shocked. You can talk.
I love that because like the pure shock, like the human has never spoken like when in their time, and all of a sudden one speaks like, oh my god, this is crazy. Then all of a sudden another one speaks. He shows up wearing alien clothing.
But they knew about
like,
the other two
crazy.
as well. Remember that Taylor came with? They didn't hear them talk, but they knew they got lobotomized, and like they knew that they could talk.
I don't think Cornelius and Zira knew that. I think that was like
they could assume. They saw their fucking, oh look, there's my buddy up there, and then what's his head's just fucking cut up.
But I don't
Zira
think
knew when she was like all like quiet. They knew that they could fucking talk. Come on.
But it would have been different though, because I mean, look how they tried with Taylor in comparison. I feel like that was okay. They talked, and Zayas was like, okay, just fucking lobotomize these guys before they get out to the public. Or at least we know now too. The gorillas, like if you talk by the gorillas will just they'll do shit to you, and like no one else will ever
rip
know.
Your nuts off.
Yeah,
rip your nuts off. Yeah, or throw big fucking boulders back and forth. They'll put you on a horse and just net you for no reason.
I get why the gorilla.
Get on that horse. Get on that horse.
I get why the gorillas are the leader because their strength, but like in this movie, they definitely show why they should not be like leading the army decisions. You know, they
shoot the nuke. Shoot
it. And I just love what's his name again? With a Zeiss. No, like he knows what it is. He's like, no, don't do that. Like
you can't unleash a clip in it. I'm pretty sure he like says that too. Yeah. Like he's just saying clip. That's hilarious.
He's just stuck with these fucking idiot gorillas who are just like trying to extinct themselves the whole movie.
But yeah, I've never really grown to like the back half when they get into the subway. I think it's cool to go into the subway. I like that set piece, but then just this advanced dystopian human civilization that's down there that is very psychic based. I don't enjoy that, and I don't like how it all concludes with them just launching a nuke. I think that's where it gets really down the dumps for me. I really like Brent. I like seeing another human show up, and I like seeing him with like the spaceship, and then knowing like, okay, they went to pursue, and we get a little backstory on the fact that there's like this time slip that they went into, and that sets the pace for the next film, which I definitely enjoy that one more than this one, like you, Travis. But if we weren't retroing it, for the most part, I feel like I just watched the first half with Brent just doing what he's doing, trying to find Taylor. I do. I really, yeah.
Like what's the part? When do you turn it off?
Yeah.
Like, what's the end point?
Probably as soon as the
right
guy's
here?
like, no. Probably when the guy's like, my God, and like, because he's praying to the nuke, and like Brent's like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? Like,
And it just ends there.
or even to like, if you don't, because you don't see the psychic people yet, so when Brent just starts fucking drowning Nova, you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
That's
just
where you
this
end
little
it. Just
bird
really
bath.
dark ending.
Well, no, I'm
And
saying like
Tara's
people
like,
don't
yes,
understand.
men are bad. Men are bad.
Yeah, but
I
like,
choke
how-
her out. I choke her out in the water.
How's anyone supposed to follow that? Because you don't know about the psychic people yet.
Well, that's why
and
you watch the
Nova's
whole
just being-
movie. You literally have to
guess.
cut it off at the subway, so then it's the exact same thing. Because same thing, they do the fucking. That's where. Sorry for this guy. They do the same ending of Planet Apes 1, where they find a landmark, and he's like, "I used to live in my home, and damn you!" But they don't. He doesn't get that Heston like, "Oh, like he's just like, I worked here with my friends." Like he's just like he's saying shit to Nova, and Nova's just like, "I just want to fuck Taylor. Like, can we find him? Like, come on." But like. They literally, that's the best part to end it then, is when he gets the subway and it's just another bleak ending. You literally just watch another white man land and find out that he's on a planet that used to be Earth, and then you end it there.
Like the ending of this movie, though, I'm so confused on how we're gonna be getting to the third movie. Because
make
apparently,
sense.
just
It'll
the
make
Earth
Time
is just
paradox.
nuked.
Whoa.
Yeah, spoilers. Come
I
on.
thought you said you watched. Literally, before you
It's
got
been
here,
so
Taylor.
long. Last time I've seen
Kirkland's-
these was on VHS.
Kirkland's like, "Oh, I've watched these all on VHS. I haven't checked it yet, but we'll explain it. You know, it's a snake eating its own tail and stuff like that. But
Of course.
yeah, of course. But I think that's where you end it. Him in the subway.
That's where I end it?
Yeah, if you ever want to watch this again, because that's just he discovers that it's Earth, and that's the same thing as the first movie. He discovers Earth, right? And it just ends. It doesn't end with like, oh, Taylor's gonna go back and kill the apes. He just
You
discovers
maniacs!
Earth.
You blew it up. It's the exact same ending. Just rolls.
Like they could have made this into 2 films because it definitely is. It's rushed. I would have taken a full film of. I would have loved a full film of Brent just landing and just seeing like what the fuck's going on, and like more extended time with him and Taylor, and just that kind of partnership going on.
Heston, this is as much as they could get Heston. They were lucky he agreed to this, and then I think I have because I did trivia a while back. He donated his whole pay stub to charity, so he didn't even like really want. I'll try and find out before we go because I know we're going to talk about Heston a lot.
Like
here,
you have to make me massive though. That's my one condition.
Give me these stilts and everything like that. Here we go. So he donated his salary to charity. Charlton Heston was reluctant to reprise the role, believing that Taylor's struggles were what drove the first movie and that the story had already reached its conclusion, which he was right. A sequel, in his opinion, would be a lackluster adventure amongst monkeys. He eventually agreed to appear on one condition, that his scenes had to be shot within a 2-week period. He also insisted that Taylor had to be killed. He had to agree to a compromise in which he'd disappear in the beginning of the film and reappear at the end. Heston claims in the documentary that he personally suggested ending. Why don't I just set off the bomb, destroy the world, and that's the end of sequels? So that was his idea, that he wanted to die,
he
and
thought
then
he
the
was
bomb.
ending that.
He was trying
He
to
thought
kill
he
the
was in it.
sequel.
Yeah, he thought he was trying to. But yeah, so I don't know why they did get him back, and good for him. He donated his salary to a good cause, but it sounded like they had to really talk him into doing this. So you were never going to get like the Brent and Taylor movie. That was never going to happen. This is as much screen time as you get Heston.
Yeah, that one flashback that cracks me up because he's just a horny bugger because he's there with Nova. He's like, why don't we just settle here and make some kids and our kids will talk. We'll just have a new colony or whatever. Like he's just ready to go.
Yeah,
Those flashbacks when Brent is like Taylor, and you just have like Charlton Heston's face just like pop up. He looked so much more ape than he did in the first film. I swear they're like trying to morph him. That's probably why he's so large in comparison to Brent when those two meet again.
Well, and now we'll just get in the review of the movie. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. If not, whatever. But so we'll get back to Brent because we'll talk about them. But yeah, with Heston, we get these flashbacks. That's what happened. He's in a couple flashbacks at the beginning, and then he's at the very end. And that's where it's just like, even watching the first movie, I know they set up this forbidden zone, but we get the 5 minutes with him at the end of the movie, then we meet Brent, and then we get some more time with Taylor. And for him and Nova just be riding their horse, and all of a sudden, just a gigantic wall of fire just shoots up. And like, at least early on, okay, we're in for something. But it's just like, what was and I know we're getting what happens at the end. I know why it happens, but just like, why was that the idea to have all these big things? And then my least favorite, not my least, it's still amused, but what I hate, Taylor gets off this horse. And he gets off this horse. He gets off this horse. One, he tells Nova, hey, if I don't come back, go find Zero. Who is just like, why? She's going to go back to the ape, like, human slave city? Like, no, like, that's terrible advice to give her. I know that they're friendly.
She had no fucking idea what he was saying too. I must say, like, Nova throughout this entire film, she had no idea what anyone was like trying to tell her.
No,
he
and
like
she was loaded with makeup too in this one. She looked like
Zira, and she's just like fucking tree. She's like, all right, I'm gonna go die now.
Yeah. She does speak though in this movie.
That was terrifying. I fucking hate Nova as a side character, though. I didn't mind her in the first movie, but in this one, it was just so much worse because I feel like they try to boost her up to do so much more. And she's literally just like a blank face in so many moments of this movie. They're like trying to get her to do things. She's just like, she's a fucking like Neanderthal. Like, she just can't think straight. So yeah, there was some funny moments.
She was starting to speak though. Taylor was training her, right?
But like Brent, like trying to commune with her, and then he just like GTA's the car. Like, whatever, I'm just gonna hop on with you. That'd be so terrifying if like she was in that situation. She thinks it's another Taylor.
Yeah, it looks exactly like him. But so one of my least favorite moments, I'll just say that, is he gets off the horse. Yeah, go find her. If I don't come back, okay, cool. And then he walks up to a wall, and then he has his gun. and he goes to, or it's not a wall, it's like a big mountain, side of mountain. He picks up the gun, goes to hit it, and when he hits it, he just does a somersault and disappears. And like, I'm sorry, just even in sense, like, what was his plan? Just to go hit the mountain with his gun? Like, even if it was just a mountain, what was that supposed to do? Like, this is the best they come up. What if he fucking like goes to hit the mountain and he disappears right into it? Like, oh fuck yeah, I love it. And Heston's in the room like this. He would have been a great scroll leader, but like, I don't understand. They would have just been better to say he went missing. They did not need to show the scene of him attacking a mountain, and he
don't even show the ending of the first movie. Just like start it with like Nova on the horse, and then it's like they could even have like a narrator or something say that Taylor went missing. Like just go with that. I knew that like obviously you guys were warning me that he was much minor role in comparison to the first one coming to this one. But when I saw his name, it's like 10th on the casting, whatever, on like at the start of the movie. And then that scene happens. It's like, oh my God. Okay, yeah, that's how they get rid of him.
Did you think that was it for him?
I figured he was gonna come up at the end, but yeah, I just laughed out loud. He just does a somersault and then Nova just leaves.
I would love it if there was a version of this movie where that was it. Like that was the last time you ever saw Taylor.
They never like address it either. They don't even like see the mutants. He just disappeared through the mountain.
You got me for an hour. I like it. Let's do this. I'm gonna somersault. All right. Taylor, what do you think about Taylor's first disappearance in this?
Oh God, like in retrospect, like him just being gone for and not having this much screen time, it actually is surprising now when I think about it, and it's not something I thought about before. But like his first disappearance, like when it just Nova shows up on the horse when you see Brent, I was always wondering, okay, where the fuck did Taylor go? Like they didn't really explain that, but of course, like you said earlier, you just got to keep watching to kind of see what's going on. The practical effect, or not practical, the special effects always crack me up, like the wall of fire. And
you want me to what? I
can't
do that.
The wall of fire, the lightning, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the lightning.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's all just psychological, right? It's not really there as we learn later on. So
in the moment, I'm like, this is why it's the Forbidden Zone. Holy fuck, this is crazy. Fire out of nowhere. Yeah, storm.
I would, retrospectively, I would take just the Forbidden Zone having like massive, crazy weather storms versus there's a fucking mutant underground being like, like projecting this image.
Yes.
I just want to see the cut of all these people staring at cameras for like 4 minutes doing nothing. But let's just talk about that because we're just jumping around, and we'll get back to Brent. We're gonna get there because that's to me that's too interesting and everything like that. The most interesting thing is that shot I talked about earlier. So, Brent, he ends up, they're going to Forbidden Zone. They're trying to find Taylor. The apes are also going there. Like I said, we'll talk about all this stuff, and it's gonna land this big thing. Brent gets like at the subway station. They find out again. Oh, I used to live here. Him and Nova are drinking again. They do a shot exactly like the first movie where it looks like she's going down on Brent. Like remember that movie where like Heston was saying the two dudes went down. They had the shot where like his cock was like that his cock was like camera bottom level, and that's where the water was coming up, and Nova just goes down. I'm like, I got to look out for that in Escape, but. And then all of a sudden he starts to choke her. We hear like the siren, it's like that going on. He starts to choke her, and then he stops choking her, and then they keep going further into these concaves, and then they just find these people that are like I don't know, terrible outfits, but their dresses, I don't know how you would describe them. Full white bodysuits, some capes. They got these headgear, so that they all have the power of Charles Xavier. I don't like. Let's just start there. Are they trying to? I always think, are they insinuating that like nuclear war in the past gave them these powers? Like it made them fucked up looking, but it gave them this.
I don't think powers? They ever like try to get you to ask that question. I think it's just these are like underground mutants that worship this nuke, and they just have telekinesis. That's just the world that we're living in.
And they're wearing fake skin. Remember too.
Which, like, why? why are they wearing these fake faces? But
they all look like that. Why? Yeah, they all look like that.
Yeah, they all look like that, and like it's not like they're seeing outsiders that they're trying to like hide their appearance. I really don't know what that explanation was.
They're that horrified with each other. Like, we got to do something about
Well,
this.
even like the prayer or the song that they do in their little chanting session, they like mention about like beauty or something.
Yeah.
It was very, very strange, very, very strange. Yeah, they're all appalled by each other's appearances. It seems.
Because even the kids are like that too. The kids are all fucked up and everything.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not
look
looking
terrible.
good. Yeah. Taylor, what do you have any theories about how they are the way they are? Because it's to me, it's a very strange thing where you go from the first movie where it's very caveman era-esque, right? Like, we have some guns, but other than that, it's like hieroglyphics, some horses. People are living in stone houses. They're all using, sticks, some netting, but it's not the 21st century, 20th century even. And then you jump to the complete difference where there's a nuke underground, but then you also have like X-Men level characters here that are around with the apes.
With like the corny spaceman, like
Yes.
metallic outfit, like
They're
it's
like
just,
the 30th century people. You
Yeah.
know? Like, remember last time when we read in the trivia that they want at one point the city to be high tech, and everyone went like, no, that's a bad idea. That, like, whoever had that idea got it in the sequel. Like, oh, but what if
Yeah.
the people? What if they're high tech? You know?
He liked that idea. He didn't want to get rid of it.
No.
Like I feel like 2,000 years is long enough for humans to get to this point where they could do some brain stuff. I mean, 2,000 years of evolution, that's a long time. But to
They're
explain
living in
their
awful conditions, though.
Do you see the look of them? They're ugly.
Yeah.
well,
They're
that's
living
the
in
next part.
caves.
That's the next part of this. Like the looks of them, I would definitely maybe attribute that more to something nuclear that's kind of
Yeah.
leading to this kind of fallout with how they look, and probably attributed to their abilities as well, instead of it just being 2,000 years of evolution to this point.
You put that
Yeah.
theory, not us.
That's what I initially would have looked at it as, but
So their
it's tricky
ancestors are like
because
survivors of like the
that's
great
how I
dinosaur.
would
Yeah.
see it, because you have the humans on the surface, and you have the humans down here. But then in the later sequels, that you can kind of see, like, well, maybe, I don't know. It's tricky. They kind of touch upon it in the later sequels, just like different remnants of human beings, I guess you could say. But it's
I don't think they ever go back to here, though. I think
They don't,
everybody
no.
everybody decided this was a mistake. Like, I will fail the new movie if it comes down there's fucking like
I don't need
Professor X.
in Kingdom.
No.
I don't need these fucking
No.
guys in Kingdom or anything else.
And like, I don't think they've ever returned to it in comics. So like, I think like this is a concept that has just been disregarded by everybody, because it just to me goes against everything that I even just say the fact of how many humans there are down there, whatever you want to call them, right? The fact that apes, like, it is a whole, there's at least like dozens of dozens, there's like 36 people down there. And I love the idea of Taylor landing there and him being this only, above all the other species, humans, and the rest of the people he's trying to help, but can't really, because like we talk about Nova, there's some issues. So that's like, there's some specialty there. But, and again, I never think of this movie when I watch Planet of the Apes. I just disregard that. I think it was a what if. But like, to think like, oh no, there's actually a bunch of people there. And not only, I feel like they take down the apes because it's like, oh, not only are they people, they're people with superpowers. So it's like, right when you thought the apes were the best species, actually no, these people all have superpowers and a nuke. So it's just like,
Yeah.
I feel like it takes the apes down as well too.
Totally.
That's
That's what I was saying earlier, where it seems like the actual Planet of the Apes stuff is like 10 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
And like, I don't even want to say like all of this movie is complete shit, because I feel like there is some scenes that, I mean, if I didn't have them in the first movie, it seemed like they could have been placed there, and I would have enjoyed it. Like the chase scene with the gorillas chasing Brent and Nova, or when they're in like the cage, and there's like that Indiana Jones type sequence where he like gets out of the cage, takes out the gorilla. Like, those are good sequences. I like that stuff in here, but then it just seemed like most of the focus was getting us to the mutants, and then when we're there, it's just like a human conflict, human versus human, and then the gorillas are like outside, just about to get nuked or shoot the nuke because they're too dumb to realize. But I feel like that was the most egregious thing for me. Not even them like recreating the beginning. Like I feel like I was fine with that
You can
to a
accept
certain
that,
extent. But yeah, once we got to the subway station, and I agree with you, Taylor. I did like the actual set piece of that, because when I was thinking like Beneath the Planet of the Apes, I did not think that it was going to be like an old earthy type thing that they're going through like a subway system. I don't know why. I just figured like caves or something. I just had no idea what to expect. And as soon as we were in here, I'm like, oh, okay, I definitely remember this. I remember this sequence. I remember him choking out Nova. So yeah, I really didn't like that decision, and that was this whole movie. So a little hint for my overall thoughts, I guess, for the movie.
And like, I don't know what the deal is with these mutants. They don't hurt anybody, but they're just gonna
Or
make people
peaceful.
hurt each other. Yeah, it's like that's stupid. They have this nuke that they may or may not shoot. Of just like they're, I don't know, like what is their conflict with the apes really? Like, but the apes don't know they're there, so there's not much of a conflict until like the last little bit. I do appreciate the apes don't really give a fuck. Those human talks, they get shocked, but then they just shoot them down. I like that the gorillas have like a no give attitude. Now when it comes to the bomb and other stuff, maybe not the smartest, but I just don't know. And they're just like. Brent goes, "Can I hope we leave tonight?" And one of the guys goes, "Well, you can always hope." And it's like, he's like, "But you know too much now." But it's like, what does he know? Like what? Like, do you think he's gonna go to the apes and he's gonna say, "We met some people down there and they have mind control"? Maybe, but like if they just believe him, they're gonna kill him or lobotomize. Like the stakes that the mutant people have, none of it makes sense. It just feels like they're trying to make them be mysterious for the sake of being mysterious. You know, there's nothing, no stakes really there. I don't. And also, too, like, how long have they been down there? Because technically, like, I guess, I feel like, are their skins like that because of the nuke? Or are they trying to imply they've been down there a long, long time? So these kids that they've had, why these kids have this skin? You would, like, the semen was...
vitamin D. That's what
I
happens
guess.
when you're out of the sun for that
semen
long.
in the loins
they'd
were
be down there
affected.
for a while just reproducing, like, generation after generation. So, like, they just would look the same. This is how these humans look.
I'm just trying to say, like, if a burn victim has a child, the child doesn't look like a burn victim.
But I wouldn't say that these are necessarily like equivalent to that. I would say like,
aren't we saying they got affected by the nuke? Their skin?
I'm thinking like, I'm not saying they're affected by the nuke. I think maybe they've lived down there. They haven't obviously gone to the surface ever, so that's just they've changed down there.
What are they?
The change could have happened like
I don't know what they
1,000
eat, like,
years ago too, right?
Yeah, totally.
I guess. What do they eat? I guess like the drink they pee. I guess and
They
do
eat
that.
apes.
Everything comes from the nuke. They eat the nuke.
Yeah.
They eat the nuke. Yeah.
I found it so like again like they're just trying to go for this mystery aspect, but like why are they doing this telekinesis conversation with Brent and then like they do a very long just stupid conversation where like us the viewer it's just Brent like talking to himself and then they all just talk anyways. It's like what the fuck was the point of that other than just trying to capture I guess this like
Just to shit on him, like, oh, your pathetic intelligence can't.
They
handle
said
it.
he's like, "Oh, you're not smart enough to understand this.
Yeah.
We'll speak in the most basic form ever." And they.
I just
start
hated
speaking
the
English.
sequence of him just like I know who I am. I'm an astronaut. And then it's like a pause and then they just do this like weird look thing. It was just yeah.
Oh god. Fuck.
Like I wasn't even like laughing in those moments. It was just like,
No.
what the fuck am I watching here?
That's
Holy
a
crap.
point where I had the reverse where I paused. I was like, "How much is left?" Like it was like 45 minutes. Because I remember. What I remember is they get there, this reveal happens, they throw them in the jail right away, and then they get out. But there's a lot of like them with the god stuff, and yeah, that conversation with the mutants goes on a lot longer because they're like asking him what he knows about the apes, but it's just like, why do you care? You have what, like I just don't understand. Like, what is the I get the apes conflict. I still think they jump huge from. The last movie, I get that some people did see a human talk, but I feel like it escalated real quickly to we're going to cover everything up to we're going to fucking war, we're going to the Forbidden Zone, and we're going to kill everything there. It's like, I didn't get that sense from the first movie. That's
Yeah.
what the apes were going to do. I thought it was going to be more just like conspiracy theory, like let's hide all the info and just move on from this. But that gorilla captain found out and he was just ready to just raise hell. And like you said, there's not much with the apes, unfortunately.
But he didn't know what was there, right? He's just like, hey, we got evidence to say that there's something out there, and we're just gonna train and we're just gonna go fuck it up.
Yeah, no, I know. It's not they think the mutants are out there, but I just didn't take the apes and characters we met. I know we didn't meet all these apes, but I just didn't take the ones we met last time that would want to go into the Forbidden Zone. Felt like most people were very scared of it. So I guess the idea that there could be people out there is what's driving them. But I don't know. It just feels like we're missing some scenes there, or some plot points of why they're trying to get out, like go to the Forbidden Zone. I guess it's just to hunt down Taylor and his tribe. They must think out there, and like I said, all the motivations other than Brent's, which just makes sense if he's trying to find Taylor, are very muddled.
They didn't even talk about really Taylor being their focal point, because we get that very steamy scene of Zayas and like General Ursus in the sauna together, just the steam room,
the Russian
talking about
bathhouse.
it. Yeah, the bathhouse. So they're talking, and that's when you learn, okay, it's not really about Taylor anymore. It's this general guerrilla guy wants to go to the Forbidden Zone, wants to, because he's losing men out there, wants to get out there and see what's taking his men down.
Tell him stop going out there, like Jesus. Yeah. I thought there was some scarecrows up there for a reason. Like we have the photo here, like, and I guess that's what's strange is in the first movie they make it sound like Zara's gone there and Cornelius, but Cornelius revealed that he had went there and then came back and didn't say anything. But this just makes it sound like gorillas are just like you know the beginning of Grinch, the Jim Carrey one? Like that's what makes it sound like the apes are doing. They're going up there to have a good time.
They're curious creatures, Travis.
Yeah. And the mutants are like, we got you. But even like, so why are the mutants like throwing fire up?
Well, they just don't want them to find them.
Okay.
Like it's all deterrence.
So I guess are these other apes that have gone missing? They also saw the fire and they're like, "Ah, fuck it, let's keep going."
I guess they just, I don't know.
That's what happened, right?
They just kept going the opposite direction of where they came from, and then they just get lost in the desert somewhere.
Yeah, it's just a weird combination.
It doesn't make any sense.
Plans.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm trying to play devil's advocate, but like
for sure.
even their deterrent for the like when the gorillas are close and they have this like. What is it called? The lawmaker, and it's just like bleeding out of its eyes, and it's doing these things to like keep them away, and it does not work because the gorillas just like go check it out. Oh look, nothing's going on here. I feel like they could have done a lot better of maybe a play to try and deter them from what they decided. I don't know. I just really am not a fan of the mutants at all. They just don't make sense. Don't like them in here. Don't like the end of what happened with the nuke actually going off. Didn't like the whole church sequence. That seemed like it was a 20-minute moment.
I felt like
it was like an hour and a half. Yeah, when it was like an hour and a half movie. And then I love it too because it was like super, super long. Like very, very long, at least it felt like for me. And then as soon as it ends, it goes to like the one mutant character talking to Brent. And then it's like, since you've participated in our church event, you must see our side now. Like, don't you see where we're coming from? It's like, holy fuck, man. Like, I feel like I just hate you more. But
well, and then even just I feel like, so that happens, the church thing happens, they throw him in the jail cell. That's where Taylor is. Like we said, Taylor has no fucking clue who this guy is at first. He's like, all right, you're a friend. You weren't important. So anyways, they start talking.
As soon as he heard Nova, you got very excited. Where is she? Where is she? You got her?
The apes come back and Fred and Tara are just fucking. They're just going hardcore against those like spiky bars and everything.
Grabs them up. Yeah.
Oh, man flesh. But like, so they start talking. They're doing the whole thing like, I came here for you. I got, you're lost, and I'm all the planet apes, right? Oh fuck these mutants. And so I would have loved to seen the Heston version of him meeting the mutants for the first time. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, you would definitely not have been as quiet as Brett was.
No, he'd been yelling motherfucker. But so they meet, they start talking. They talk about the mutants are peaceful, but every time they see a human, they force them to do violent things. That makes no, like, why do they have some kink of just like, they want him like to kiss, like later on, before he got arrested, they have him kiss Nova and then strangle her. It's just like, what's going on here? It's just like these people have these weird kinks that they just are all cucks and they want to see the stuff go down.
They have no genitals. That's a big part of their mutant gene.
So they start fighting, and that's when Nova shows up. They, I guess, outsmart this guard, but I think really the guard is just dumb. He looks at Nova and then like walks into the jail cell for some reason. I don't know.
Terrible that's when she screams, right?
Taylor.
Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck is that? He just totally turns around.
But like Guard gets killed, terrible way. Those spikes did look like they would hurt, like the way he got sandwiched in between them. But and of course, this happens. I forgot this part. The door closes, so they get locked in again. I forgot how they get out.
I don't remember. Yeah. I thought it was just open, honestly.
No, it closes again on them, and it's like, oh shit, they're locked. But did they just get out? I don't know. So they get out there. Yeah, you'll pull it up. They somehow get up. They fight a couple more apes. Unfortunately, we lose Nova in a situation where she gets shot. There's no blood, anything. And Nova's just like, and like Taylor again, that's just like this classic reaction. Like he's a little upset at the beginning, but he's like, these damn apes. He's just like, it's like not like the biggest deal, which again, we don't know the time that's passed, but it felt like it was going to be. And then, here's even the thing too I want to ask you guys. So what did the mutants want to do with the bomb? They want to use the bomb, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So they want to use the bomb. And they've said this, and Brent is like, he has information. That's why he can't leave, right? And it's very unclear because Brent the whole time's telling Taylor, we got to go stop the bomb. I guess Brent's ship was still working, right? His ship wasn't destroyed. So I guess Brent's idea was his end game. Let's not shoot off a nuke. Let's get in the ship and get the fuck out of here.
Well,
I thought his ship was pretty fucking destroyed.
Yeah,
was it destroyed?
Well, when you look at it, it's pretty fucked up. The whole engine is completely detached and fucked.
I forgot that because I remember Taylor's obviously sunk, but his ship is just exploded.
Well,
in his context, he thinks it's done, right?
Like,
what's Brent's plan? He says they have to stop the bomb. I guess my example is later on, Brent gets shot. He's shooting, and they just do this hard zoom up on his head, his face, just like, like he literally saw God in that moment. The second he got shot, and the weird thing is he gets shot in the head, and then they zoom out and they shoot him a couple more times in the gut. Like the headshot was enough. But what I'm trying to get to is he gets shot. This whole scenario, it's worse called innocent. I'm gonna pose my question. Stay with me. He's shooting. He's gonna cause a distraction. Taylor puts one foot out. He gets blown fucking away. That plan worked not all. Probably because fucking Taylor's the Godzilla-sized human, and he's trying to climb the side of this castle. But anyways, he gets shot. Him and Dr. Zero have like one last face off. It's like, here it is. Or he's like, where we are. At the end of it all, and he falls down and he hits his thing. So like he died. Brent's pitch was we got to get in there and stop the bomb. Taylor got shot, but was like was he gonna stop the bomb always, or is because him and Taylor?
He was
died?
never gonna stop the bomb. He was
right.
Yeah, he hates humanity. He hates mutants. He hates the apes. Nova's dead. That's his only will for living. But
Brent wanted to stop the bomb. and I just
Taylor
love
makes his own rules, man. He's the colonel.
Well, I love too that he has met some good apes like Cornelius and whatnot, yeah. But he's still just a nuke. Like if he lost, it's over. I'm nuking everybody. So that's why it's just like it's so strange that we have our two main characters going into the situation, and I feel like their motivations are either not explained or completely different. And that's why I just like. Same thing I want to ask Brent, like, why does he not want the bomb to go off? Like, what is Brent's game plan? That's what I'm trying to ask you guys. What is his ideal winning situation? Because obviously it doesn't happen. He gets headshotted, but what was his game plan? Stop the bomb and then?
Like, I feel like he just has false hope that he can go off this planet and then get back home. But like, also he knows that it's old Earth, right? Because he finds the
subway,
Queensboro, the subway. Mm-hmm. So I really don't know from that point. Like we never even have that dialogue amongst himself of like, oh my god, I'm stuck here. Like that's like such a big moment in the Apes movies of like that realization that you can't go home because this is your home. But
and that's why at least Taylor's plan in the first
time
one.
paradoxes or something. I don't know.
And then Taylor at least had a plan of like, well, I'm gonna go get to the Forbidden Zone and find out what's out there. Like there has to be other stuff of men out there. So like I said, what's Brent's plan after this? Because the Forbidden Zone is just a bunch of fucking mutants. Like they really should have like snuck out, you know? Because like I feel like the apes wouldn't set off the bomb, and I don't. If you kill the humans, who were very
they shot
weak,
it up. I feel like it was gonna go off.
maybe I don't know. Care, you have any idea like what Brent's motivations are here? Like once they're out of here.
It is convoluted. I mean, Taylor's motivations were he thought, okay, well, at some point humans evolved into these apes and like just kind of like forgot their history. I think they even said at the beginning of this movie, before he goes off when they're playing like the first 5 minutes, like recap of like the ending of the last film. But with Brent's motivations, yeah, it is hard to say. And I don't want to speak too much on the condition of that ship because there are interesting things that we get into in the next movie. But yeah,
But I don't think he knew those things unless he's a great repairman, I guess.
Well, that's where things we're gonna have to have the discussion on like Escape from Planet of the Apes, because that's a whole nother can of worms. That's like what the like.
Yes, Kirkland.
What
The
the
ship comes
heck?
back into play.
Can't
We'll
wait.
just say
I
that.
can't
The
wait.
ship comes back into play, yeah.
But it also to me comes back in a way where it's like, this doesn't make any sense. Like from,
No,
like,
it doesn't make any sense. Like what? But
there's a certain timeline they give us. You're like, you guys fucking made that up on the spot. You need a third movie. This doesn't make any sense. And like, even with you go ahead, Tay. I have another question to ask after, but if I'll finish up there.
I think Brent, at the end of it, his core mindset was, yeah, he needs to get back into the sky after he like Nova takes him to this ape city, and he sees the fucking General Ursus just freaking out.
Apes.
Yeah, he's just the apes are like talking about like humans and all that shit. Like the only good human's a dead human. Then like
Yeah.
he backs out of the
Inspired
bush.
the
He's like,
Starship Trooper line.
well, yeah, he backs out of the bush and he's like, I gotta get back up there. Like he's got.
That's
he's
true.
Like, I'm fucking out. So I think his goal solely was, it's no matter what, he needs to survive. He needs to get out of here, get off this planet. So
You know that scene in Hook when they're back on Neverland and the kids are captured, and you just have Robin Williams just going to rock, keeps jumping off to try and like fly again. I just picture that's what Brent does if they were to get out of here. Him like he's just doing that, and fucking Taylor's just lighting us a car, just like. I hate this
idiot.
fucking asshole. Come on, Taylor.
I did get that vibe that Taylor
Boost
hated him.
me. Yeah,
You probably remembered Brent, but like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Brent.
I wish it
This
was you
guy?
that died and your scooter
Yeah.
that lived.
Yeah, and like I guess so, and their setup was Taylor and his crew went missing, so they sent another crew to go get them. I feel like that's not proper. Like that, does that happen at NASA?
It happened in The Martian.
What?
Would that happen if, like, Taylor, let's say we send some people to the moon, right? They went disappearing. Would we send another crew to that? Like, not the moon. Let's say Jupiter, right? Or let's say Mars. We never land there. We send people to Mars, and they're just fucking they're missing. They're just
They
gone.
made a movie
Nope.
about it.
No trace
With
of them
Matt Damon.
whatsoever. Yeah.
If a ship, well, yeah, I think they totally would. I think they absolutely would. They would at
Really?
least send one ship out to go and check. They wouldn't keep sending ships, but if something happened, they would absolutely go and
Stop
try
at
and get
5.
answers. Yeah.
Yeah.
If 5 go missing,
Brent's
then-
brother, get over
Okay,
here.
yeah.
And no, it was interesting because we meet that little guy, or not little guy. I'm not trying to call him a little guy. We meet his friend,
Skipper.
and- yeah, Skipper, and we talked about how the first crew made sense. You know, Taylor's a badass. He's just like kind of like has like a death complex in a way where it's like he's fine to explore, do stuff, but like if he dies, so be it. As long as I got a cigar. Yes, that's all he needs. There's the other guy who wanted to be famous. I can't remember the other guy, but they all were established that they were like single people, right? They had no connections to
no
home.
family.
And so
This is a moment that
Skipper-
had me fucking laughing out loud.
So Skipper laying there with his like fucking reflective blanket, probably cooking like a hot dog in his little turtle shell.
He's blind apparently too. I don't know if he's always been blind. But
He's
he
getting
definitely is now.
sunstroked at yin yang, and then so anyways, Brent walks. So I guess it was just the two of them, or maybe the lost people. Brent walks down. He's kind of just going over the calculations. They're just doing what they did the first movie, trying to figure out, you know, what happened, how many years it's been. And he's like, oh, it's like 3,200. And Screw's like, my wife, my 2 sons.
Daughters.
Daughters.
My 2
Daughters.
daughters. Everyone I know is dead. And Brent's just like, Yes. Yeah, like,
It's like,
almost no
dude, how did you not know this was gonna happen? Like,
Oh,
why would you
yeah.
be leaving your wife and your 2 daughters thinking that you're gonna be coming back by Saturday?
Especially, I would even give them a little leeway for the first mission. This is a mission to go recover the people that went missing, that they have no trace of. Their ship just vanished. So you're telling me I have a wife and 2 kids, and you're gonna send me on a mission to find some people that just vanished? That's the time I'm gonna say sorry. And I guess maybe you could try to make the argument that was back in the day where like people went to war and they didn't have an option, right? So that could be this guy. So maybe I'm playing devil's advocate. It just felt like the first one specifically picked people that were able to do this mission, because we even talked about like joking or non-joking, they could like reproduce with whatever the lady that passed away, right? Where
Nova.
this is just like, not Nova. Yeah.
No, the other chick.
No, just on board. But like, yeah, I just like, and like I said, I didn't feel the actor who played Brent like really showed much compassion at all. And then we just cut to,
not at all.
we just got to a look. He's buried. He's gone. This done. Like
That's
Brent
why I like the
stripped him for
headcanon that he
parts.
just murdered him. He's like, this guy is so not for the mission anymore. He's mentally compromised. I'm alone on this planet. Like, just fucking shovel to the dome. Then he buries him.
Brent,
Because
you got a
like,
pillow?
yeah,
Oh, I got
Brent
a
really
pillow. Skip on-
seems, he really seems like he's just sticking to the plan, right? Like he's trying to find Taylor. He's like, well, I mean, he's Taylor from the first movie essentially. So I laughed so hard though. Just like he doesn't even try to keep Skipper alive for like a couple days or something, and then he just like, he's not bleeding out or anything. Like he looks like he's in pain. But I don't know. It was a very quick cut to him laying there, sad about his wife and his daughters. To he's just buried. We just see his mound.
I like the middle cut where he's sad, and you do like a lighthouse like smash cut to like a hole, and Brent throwing dirt in it, and just Scoop like, no, Brent, no, and then like the next cut is like grave, like it's gone. But yeah, R.I.P. Skipper. He didn't make it far. You know, like I feel like if there's like another crew of 4, they died in the ship, and then Skipper may as well died in the ship. He just died like outside the ship. Like he like walked a little bit and collapsed. You know, that was it.
So I was just reading here because you're talking about the Skipper and like his fucking ill fate.
Everyone I know is gone.
Yeah. It seems
Everybody I
like
liked is dead.
Yeah.
Brent's
It
just like
seems-
standing there like, what the fuck?
it seems like it was supposed to be like an
No one liked
18-month journey to get to their destination. So that was the first ship with Heston. Yeah, because they're going to another star. So it was supposed to be an 18-month journey. And then that was the
thought in the-
trajectory they followed.
I thought when we talked about it when we reviewed the first one, it felt like a lot longer. That's where like these people are gonna be gone for, because that's only a
They
year
like
and a
sleep
half.
pods
Because
too, right?
they went for they were awake for 6 months, and after 6 months, then they went into like their suspended animation,
hypersleep or whatever,
and then it was supposed to be like 18 months to get to their destination.
Okay, so over 2 years. So that's over 24 months. So that it was a 2-year mission.
So that's I think what this guy is probably thinking, like, oh, it'll be 2 years. I'll be back when my daughter's like 4 years old, and
Well, probably 4 years though, because like 2 years there, 2 years back, right? If they were to get the crew and then come back.
yeah,
right?
pretty much. Yeah.
3,000 years. No wonder he fucking lost his marbles.
I'll be back, honey. Just 2 years.
No, I'm stuck with Brent. I fucking hate Brent.
Brent, what are you doing?
Yeah. That's what I think happened. It makes
No
sense.
one likes me. No one remembers my name. Just call me Taylor Jr. Okay, so not as bad. I swear when we reviewed the first one, there was something we talked about it being like a lot longer, but okay, 2 years, 4 years.
Well, it is because like it's tricky, like.
Now you're going back on it.
man.
'Cause now
Been
you're saying,
2,000
Well, no, like
years.
that was what the mission was supposed to be, and then
Well,
the
yeah,
crew
I
were
know.
to pollinate the stars. Something went wrong, and they found themselves stranded. 3 months after the crew had gone into hibernation, their ship collided with a ship exactly identical with itself, whatever the fuck that means, automatically setting an
shit.
emergency course for Earth and crash landing there 9 months later. That's according to the ship's time, but really, with their what was going on, it was like the time slip thing and whatever. So fuck, it gets so convoluted.
Yeah,
It's like Interstellar.
Yeah.
You're too close to
Something
the
like that.
black hole.
the sun. Oh no, that's Icarus. Icarus. I'm trying to think. What else? We talked about mutants. Yeah, we talk about Apes City. There's not much because I just like that line reading.
Even with like Dr.
actress.
Zira and
My
Cornelius,
God.
like fuck, what a backseat they took in this movie. I was so sad about that. I really like those characters from the first one, and like they show a little bit of rebellion, but like nothing even comes of it too.
Stand up.
Zayas like goes to the house. Oh, Cornelius just hit me. Oh, I can't blame him. Just running her mouth at the fucking rally. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then he wants to have a meeting with Cornelius just to talk about his wife and like what should be done and everything. And yeah, there's such a because the mutants they need to take a back seat, but no, that's all fast, and you see Brent goes to them with their astronaut clones. Oh, you gotta look different and stuff. Even though he just again looks like a completely like he does not look like no Neanderthal and like dress him up.
when they bring him in the cages and Zero's like trying to pull a fast one on the gorillas. I'm like, oh look at these two. He's like his beard is like trimmed on like he doesn't have like a neck beard or anything. It's all trimmed. His hair's a lot shorter.
Yeah,
yeah. And then fucking Nova just looks like a supermodel compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
That's still hilarious.
Like she had makeup on the first one, but this one was like Nova's
She was glowing.
real good. Yeah, she was like had a makeup brand deal. Like, hey, for Beneath the Planet Apes, like I need to wear this. Like, all right.
Her hair was like not frizzy at all. It's like perfectly straightened in like every single scene. Yeah.
But yeah, that was my favorite line of his. Just my God, a city of apes. And it just like it just didn't feel nice. It just felt like they were trying to do a lot of those scenes again, and it just didn't have the iconic feel to it,
No, so, totally.
Yeah. We talked about Ape City because that's all the like we said. The gorilla, he was leading the charge. Zira tries to stand up and or just sits down. She stays down, and that's a whole thing. But again, and we've talked. I talked about in my non-spoilers about the whole picketing. The apes beat the shit out of those apes that are picketing, so we get a little bit there. So again, I would have much rather the movie about the apes in fighting than Brent and the mutants.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
No, I agree. Because I feel like those human qualities that they're giving the apes in that first movie, it's such a back burner topic in this movie. Like they're really just focused on the mutants in the cave, and I did not like that. Did not like that story. I laughed so hard when it was like the cart that Zyra. She gets the gorilla to like give her the key, and then she unlocks it. But like she goes up and she's like, "Hold on, let me double lock the door. I better double lock the door on this." And like these fucking gorillas are just so stupid. There's clearly only one lock on the door, but it's like, "Oh, here we go," and just unlocks it.
Also, someone that's been known to have multiple issues with foreign authority. There's been some.
She's helped Taylor in the last movie, which was probably like fucking 3 days ago.
Yeah, it's the scuttlebutt of the town. Did you hear Zira helped this man, and then she kissed him?
Well, that's why the general was on her
there
case
in front of Cornelius.
The general was on her in that in the fucking the area there in a little like science exhibit area because the one gorilla is like what do you want done with
I feel like he didn't even have reasoning for it though. He's just like,
no,
they're cannon fodder.
That's exactly it. Because Zira is like, oh, these are 2 fine specimens. We'll put them over there. Yeah, he's just like, no, you won't. They're marked for target practice. Just shits all over her.
Not the brightest.
Talked about mutants, talked about the nuke. Yeah, that how it ends. Taylor hits the nuke, and then you just get like and this was the green star that fizzled out. And it's just such a weird like, all right.
He's so depressed in the theater if you're watching. It's like, what the fuck kind of an ending is this?
And then it just rolls credits. It's such an abrupt ending.
Kirkland, what do you think Oppenheimer thought about the ending of this movie?
It's like I got some ideas.
He was still alive, right? Oppenheimer when this movie came out?
No, I don't know.
Someone give me a year on that. Someone give me a year on.
Because this is what 1970.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something
First
like
one was
that.
68.
He died 1967.
Fuck, you just missed it. Yeah.
But he was there for the
Maybe
first
got the
one,
early
right?
screening.
early screen. He was there for the first one, yeah, because he didn't say he blew it all up. That's when he really realized. He was like, "Man, they're gonna blow it up, and these fucking monkeys are gonna take over Earth. What did I do?" No, I was just wondering because in the Brenton Taylor, some like the almost anything that's close to having some sort of thematrical oh my god. Thematrical.
What?
I can't say it.
Theatrical.
I don't know.
You could
Let's
say
go with the greater
thematrical.
meaning.
I
Let's
like
go with the
that.
greater meaning. they start talking about the bombs, like, oh yeah, the 21st century, just savages. Like they do a little back and forth about kind of like reflecting a light on society.
That's Taylor again, bringing in like the
Yeah.
actual big moments.
Yeah, because he's in the first movie, the good one, that's actually about that stuff. With the French just there, like, I gotta get back up there. But like that's where again, I don't mind that, and there's something there to be said about the nuke, but it's just like a line or two, so it's not really dove into. But I just thought
I know
about
what you're talking
like,
about. That
that's like what like the whole Oppenheimer movie is about, right? Is him like maybe regretting making the bomb. So I just would laugh. He's just trying to enjoy Beneath the Planet of the Apes, and fucking Taylor's taking shots at him. You can't enjoy a simple movie without someone taking shots at me. So.
I again laughed really hard when they're following like the humming through the subway. Fucking Brent, he finds this like fucking sewage water looking thing. There's like floaties in there, and he's like pushing through the fucking like mold and mildew, just like floating on this water. Takes a sip, instantly spits it out. It's just like rancid water. Like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Not
like,
even
why
a
would you think?
sip. He didn't even like just like dab a finger in. He scoops with both hands and full like just guzzles it.
It tastes like
What was he
shit.
thinking? What was he thinking?
It's like sedentary water. Like, holy fuck, man. Like, survival instincts 101 tells you not to fucking drink that water. And he just goes right in.
That's why the fucking mutants look the way they do. They're drinking that fucking shit.
Yeah, they're drinking that water.
So
And then he
here's
finds
like-
flowing water, and then, he gets
Yeah.
possessed.
Clean flowing water too. It's like the cleanest water you've ever seen.
Yeah.
But one, I was just laughing. He just died right there. No one was stuck with Brent's body.
Nova's just like, does not know what the fuck's going on.
Should probably drink it too.
Well, I'd hope no one would be smart
Taylor.
enough to see him die and then she doesn't drink it. You know, I'll give her that credit. She spoke in this movie. She's learning, you know. But so here's my question. Speaking of Taylor, let's say Brent dies, never gets there. What was the mutants' plans with Taylor?
Just keep him in there.
Why was he locked up?
He knew the secrets, so they couldn't let
So
him
he
go.
couldn't go. And they couldn't kill him because they're peaceful, right?
They're
So
waiting
just-
for a one-on-one. Luckily, Brent showed up so that they could finally have
Yeah.
a use for Charlton Heston.
They didn't want to kill him. They just want some entertainment. Like the way they threw him the fucking like big metal stick. Like, yeah, like we haven't seen a good
We
show
just
in a
like
while.
the guy's like right at the fucking window too. Like, oh
A
yeah,
cock hard, just beating off all their
grab
friends.
him, grab him,
Pull his beard.
grab
Do
him, grab him.
Well, it's like Jigsaw. Where Jigsaw doesn't technically kill people. That's their rule. They don't
Yeah,
technically kill anyone.
Jigsaw watched Beneath the Planet of the Apes and was like, oh yeah, that's the way to do it. I just love like they can't just make Taylor like I guess they can't make him kill himself. I guess they can't put those thoughts into his mind. They just have to keep him around.
That's making. That'd be making him. That's making
No,
it so
no.
you're killing him. Because if
You're
if
making
I'm,
someone. No, you're still making someone else kill someone. That's the same thing.
No, that's different. That's different.
Okay.
Because that person's commencing the act. But if you tell someone to kill
No.
themselves, that's you killing them.
So Tay, if I say I'm the mutant, I say kill yourself. That's the mutant that did that. If I say Kirkland go kill Taylor, you think that's
Then
Kirkland? Not the
Kirkland's,
mutant?
that's Kirkland killing me. Yeah. That's
But
Kirkland.
he's
That's not
not
me, though.
choosing to
It's
do
not
that.
being-
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, no,
possessed.
that's you. You're a murderer.
No.
I did not murder him.
This is what the conversations sound like on the mutant council. No, we didn't do it.
We're peacekeepers. No.
Yeah. I don't know. Just like, again, what's Taylor going to do? He's going to go back to the monkeys that fucking hate him and explain the bomb situation. They're going to take him in as one of their own. Like,
He
No, he
did
was
like an
not
ultimatum
telling them.
play too after that first movie. Like he can't go back to that.
yeah, like they're just, again,
5-star wanted level.
they're just going to look. He was that first movie, the way he was running around, those apes kept coming out. Brent could Brent couldn't even survive a fucking 3-star, right? He's not even
No.
5-star.
No,
Well, in
Taylor got
Brent's
a
defense-
gun. He got a chick. He got a horse. He was
Like-
totally geared up.
In Brent's case, like
Oh,
the gorillas were everywhere. Fuck, they were fucking everywhere. That one guy who was just firing off in the bush and hit Taylor's arm was
Beefed up security.
He hit Brent really quick.
he did. Yeah.
One of my favorite shots is when Brent and Nova were moving through, and they just had this ape just standing in the bush. It's just like he's just watching, make no noise, whatever. And also he went back and told them, but it was just something. And yeah, there was a couple apes in here that were looking gnarly. They did not have the same makeup budget.
yeah.
Well,
that
with
was
the
bad.
stand-up scene, like the stand-up ovation scene when the general was like giving his
Yeah.
speech, yeah, you could see
Oh.
around the eyes, particular,
Yeah.
and like you could see the mouths weren't moving in comparison to others. Like, oh man,
Yeah.
Yeah, not the lifelike or almost lifelike back then mask that everyone had. So And even then, like, why did they make them do? I know you liked it, Tim. Why did they make them do that sauna scene? Means like those two actors had to go like full monkey suit up and everything. But
Sorry, what?
yeah. The sauna scene, remember?
Oh yeah.
Like what? So they made these actors get in like full monkey suits to do this scene. Like,
Yeah, the fucking monkey,
why?
the big
Why is
ape
it-
cocks coming
Yeah,
out.
cocks out.
I need it bigger.
They had a big budget on the prosthetic cocks for that one
No,
scene.
it's like they had a budget of 50 million. Like, oh yeah, we got enough for the cocks, and then they came to actually we're at 25 million, guys, and like, oh, but we already spent 10 on the cocks.
They realized they couldn't even show it.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Charlton tried to show his cock in the first movie. They wouldn't let him. We're not showing no monkey dick. But yeah, I just thought like, why'd you put him in the sauna? I hope those actors got paid good because that must have been fucking
Yeah.
sweaty. Anything else specifically on the movie? I, as usual, have trivia. But any notes, plot points that we haven't touched upon yet?
Just one more thing on that sauna scene. When you look at the,
Let's circle back to that. Let's circle back to that. Joe.
Yeah. Circle back to
Do
the
you think
cocks.
they fucked?
The
Body
body
down there.
the body of the general, like he has a really like bigger gorilla body, like he's huge. But then when you see him in his armor, he's so scrawny, like it is not.
The water
stack
puffed
up.
out his fur, you know, at the
Apparently,
sauna. Yeah, he got
yeah.
really fluffed in there. But yeah, no, like I get why they did it. But yeah, he was scrawny, but then he had a massive head and helmet. That helmet was huge.
Yeah.
He's looking like Megamind times 10 over there.
Yeah.
He didn't need a gun. He just needs to headbutt that nuke and it'll explode. But yeah, he was, But that's kind of a like, I guess a couple that look was in the first one, but I feel like gorillas weren't a big part of the first one. I feel like that archetype of ape gets used a lot going forward of like the gorilla with the big headpiece. Like even the Tim Burton movie, that's who Michael Clark Duncan plays. Like that.
Yeah.
Even just like the soldiers, I feel like that's just such a good look for like the gorilla soldiers. Of course, they would be the more soldiery type versus the chimps or the whatever the other ones are. We got
Orangutans?
chimps. Yeah, orangutans. There you go.
Yeah. There's probably some other ones in there.
Just monkey types.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bamboos.
Anything else to say there, or was it just the sauna?
Oh, just the sauna.
Kirkland?
Nothing else. I've depleted my my resources on notes. Oh, actually, I pulled up that scene and how they get out of the cell. They literally just have the weapon and they just like pry the door open.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
Why
like, why
even
didn't
lock
Charlton? Why didn't Charlton do that from the get go? You know, like years ago. But whatever.
He's been there for years. Fuck, that sucks. They kept shaving him though, at least, you know. Want to look pretty like one of us. But like, why even when you're writing the scene, why do they make it that like, okay, you're gonna kill the guy and you're gonna go for the door and the door locks, but then you just unlock it? Like, just leave the door open. Why?
Yeah. Like they have some dialogue in between, so I guess it kind of forces that.
I
But
guess, yeah.
you could also just have the door open, and then they have that dialogue, and then they leave.
Yeah. Okay, so Pierre Boulez, author of the original novel, wrote a screenplay titled "Planet of the Men." This
It's a great running title.
same ring. Yeah, this doesn't have the same ring, dude. I want
God, that's
someone
awful.
in 2024 to just make a movie about today's age called "The Planet of Men."
Yeah, $1 billion box office. Right there.
Yeah, it's gonna be like that meme or that moment in Barbie when Ryan Gosling like sees the hierarchy and all like everything, like all the people are going to see Planet of Men. Let's see. It featured Taylor 14 years after the events of Planet of the Apes and involved a human uprising against apes, following which they revert back to their primal state. The studio obviously chose to ignore this concept and use a new script for the film instead, which did feature an uprising, the chimpanzees against the other apes. Yeah, but that was changed prior to filming, possibly due to the reduced budget. Yeah, like obviously, like you can never know the way it goes, but like I feel like there's so many things you could pitch that I'll take over this. And this, like, definitely, like, the idea of 14 years, that's a big jump. But still, this idea of Charlton Heston, Taylor's out there. Maybe he's having kids with Nova. He has this community, and they're going to go kill these apes. I don't know about the apes, like, going back to their primal state. That feels kind of odd that they just, like, capture them, and then they're, like, back to, like, being just, like, apes or something. But, like, that movie sounds a million times better. Obviously, and I don't think they would have got Heston to do it either. That could have been part of the studio also being like, no, don't do it. But even then, like, fuck, I would have been down if they jumped in the future and like it was Heston's kid, like Taylor Nova's kid, and they could talk, and you'd have a mix of humans that could talk, humans that couldn't talk. The idea of humans versus apes in this setting versus what we got here, I would take all day. Even if it's a bad movie, I bet it would have been better than this. So,
I agree.
Taylor, do you like that plot better or no?
I like that plot. I think that'd be cool to see like the next generation of humans just kind of like uprising and revolting, and you got like Taylor with his son here.
Yeah, exactly. We already got it. They could have just cast the same actor for his son.
Yeah, his son named Brent.
He looks
There
like
you
him.
go.
He does, yeah. The only film of the original 5 that does not star Roddy McDowall as Cornelius. That's why I think Cornelius didn't get probably too much time. But he does come back for future ones. But he was busy directing. Archive footage of McDowall as Cornelius played at the start. Plays the character. David Watson plays the character of the film proper. Despite this, McDowall is often pictured on the video and DVD packaging for the film. Interestingly, Watson and McDowall appeared together 2 years earlier in a made-for-television musical, The Legend of Robin Hood, with Watson of the role of Robin Hood and McDowall playing the role of Prince John. I don't really know why I included that, but there you go. They've worked together. But I do like that you're the guy that played Cornelius, and then in all the marketing, it's always the other guy you play him, which I get it, but it is funny. Due to the smaller budget of this film, the vast majority of extras cast as apes, including the ones sitting close to Zira and Cornelius, wore pullover masks instead of the famous ape makeup, as we talked about. Originally, there was going to be a scene featuring a half-human, half-ape child. However, the producers were afraid that would be too confusing, but they would also lose their G... What?
The whole ending was very confusing. And they don't think we're going to buy a fucking half-ape, half-human hybrid? Like, come on. What are they doing?
That's so true. Like, to what we got, to what that was like. Okay, clearly a man, like an ape and a human fucked. So we got that. This like.
There's a lot less moving parts than the fucking mutants that just don't talk, but then they can talk. They have this weird flesh, so they hide it with masks that we don't really get into. Their babies have like the same faces as well.
They got a nuke.
Yeah, they got a nuke.
They've kept Taylor for years.
They got Sunday service.
Yeah, they're throwing. Yeah, you're right about that. And then they were also concerned that they would lose their G rating. So there you go.
There you go.
Despite the significant success of the first one, the budget was slashed for the sequel. It went from $5 million to $2.5 in one fell swoop. This was mainly due to 20th Fox Century. 20th Century. What?
Prosthetic penises. They're pushing for that. And they're like, all right, we're taking away your budget.
20th Century Fox was teetering on the brink of bankruptcy, which is funny because they got bought out eventually years later, following major expensive failures such as Hello Dolly, Star, Tara Tara Tara, and that was it. The recruiting of Ted Post as a director was instrumental here, as he was used as minimal budgets and shortened schedules for his work on television. So there you go. That Fox was in the shitter, so they gave them half the budget, and they also just went a guy that could shoot it cheap, shoot it fast. That was what it was. So that's all I think I think all that stuff you can see right on the screen. Like that explain right when you hear that paragraph, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Let's see.
So this movie saved Fox, is what you're saying?
No, I think this helped them, but it kept them going around for a little bit. I don't know. That'd be good to see, because this was in the 70s. I don't know what came around and was like because they made a lot of these, so clearly they were successful with them, right? They made 5 original movies, so I don't know what was the big one. I don't think it was like X-Men or anything. I think by 2000s Fox was good, maybe a little bit of Alien, but who knows. On that front, director Ted Post found it more of a challenge in working with a modern budget than he imagined, so I guess he agreed, and then once he started doing it, was like, oh, this kind of sucks. And finally, an alternate ending was written where Taylor, Brent, and Nova escaped the underground city prior to the detonation of the bomb. So I guess the bomb was still going to go off and they escaped, which doesn't make much sense, but which was not a doomsday device as it was in the finished film. So, okay, there you go. The original bomb was just like a bomb. A bomb, yeah. They returned to Ape City, along with Zira and Cornelius, released the humans from the cages, and a new order has begun. The script ends 100 years later.
Planet of Men. That's the start of it.
The script ends 100 years later with the lawgiver teaching a group of ape and human children who sit in harmony. The final shot of the script shows a mutated gorilla emerging from the underground, fatally shooting a flying dove. The lawgiver was resurrected. That's a spoiler for later. But yeah, like it's kind of a meh ending too, but like again, I guess I would just rather take the heartfelt humans and apes get together and they find a way instead of just like the very, very dark, pessimistic ending of let's blow everything up.
Well, that's where you get
But
that ape-human hybrid child.
Yeah, with the
exactly.
prosthetic
So,
penises in there.
yeah, but that's what was gonna happen. That was one of the endings that they were gonna go back and start a new society, and
I like it more than what we got.
yeah, pretty easy to say there. Kirkland, final thoughts,
Final
rating on this.
Yeah, I think that this was a very bad movie, and I probably won't ever watch this again. Like all the positives that I can really pull from, I feel like I saw them done better in that first film, so there really is no reason to watch this movie. I won't recommend it to people, even if they haven't seen the Apes movies before. I do think to what you said earlier on about like if I was to watch this with just some buddies, if we all watched this together, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. But it's an hour 30. I think it's way too long for what it actually is too. So I guess number rating. Oh my god! I think I'll give it a two out of 10. The 2 points are kind of like what I was saying earlier, where though like the chase scene with the gorillas, that was some fun sequences there. Like maybe like some aspects of the beginning, but again, like that's just like what was in the first movie.
When they showed the first movie, that part was good.
yeah, exactly. And like I guess like the funny moments I got out of it, that was some good chuckle times. But yeah, overall, just really not a great film. So yeah, glad it's behind us now.
Yeah, I'll go 1 out of 10. I can't go 0, but like there's a few moments I'm always down to see Charlton Heston as Taylor, even though there's some awful stuff going on here. And I think it's just because like I think most of the film is just kind of mediocre. Most of the film's mediocre. I don't have anything good to say, but then the back half is just so bad. It just drains your life away. Like it's just one of those all-timers. So yeah, a 1 out of 10, just away from the 0. But yeah, and that might sound hyperbolic, but I think that's like, as we read there, it purely was just a movie made to be a cash grab and just get it out there. And the good thing is we have movies coming up that are not that way. We have movies coming up that have some actual thought. I'd actually say all these sequels coming up actually have thought put in them. Even Tim Burton's remake has more thought put into this than all of them. So that's a good thing. This is definitely the lowest point I think we will be in this retro, and hopefully ever, with the Planet of the Apes. I've never watched the TV show. I would like to. We're not going to retro that, but I might watch it at some point. But as far as the films go, this is easily the lowest point. And like I said, this is, for me, I'd have to really think about, and that's why one day we should do a cast. I can't think of a sequel that's more of a bigger drop than this. And I know there's tons of sequels out there that drop big time, but this is just off a fucking cliff, like gone. But yeah, that's where I am. Taylorfield.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I would watch the first half of this and have no care for that back half once we get into the mutant stuff. Not into it. And so I'm probably just going to give this a flat 5 out of 10 just for that.
No,
that
still passes it.
Half and half. I'd still pass it just because I really like the first starting stuff just with Brent and the ship and everything, him just surprising and the Cornelius and Zaya, like, holy fuck, there's like more speaking humans. This is crazy. And just that dynamic. And I really, really enjoyed that because for me, it's something that's familiar, but it's reskinned in a different light, and I like that. I like that appearance, the visualization. So that's why it'd be a 5 out of 10 for me. But it's still very much got a lot of just not working stuff. When you think of Planet of the Apes and Beneath the Planet of the Apes, and then just this whole mutant human civilization with a nuke that can just blow up the whole planet, it's really really far-fetched in terms of just what you'd expect from a Planet of the Apes movie, I feel like. And so I'm very, very happy that we haven't had that touched upon in a rebooted franchise, and also just a random spin-off film that was doing its own storyline, I guess you could say, with Planet of the Apes as the title. But yeah, revisiting this, I'm not going to revisit it anytime in the near future, because it's definitely
you said not ever, though. You said near future, so there could be a time.
Oh, there will be a time, yeah, just not in the near future, but there'll definitely be a time. Not within 2023, so I can tell you that.
Yeah, what's going to cause you in the near future to put this on and be like, oh, I really want to watch Planet of the Apes 2?
Honestly, after Kingdom comes out, whatever happens, like if they do something to kind of insinuate that Icarus mission because they've alluded. I'll save that for when we get to the movie.
No, Kirkland saw the first one. Of
Oh,
James
that's
Franco
true.
one.
Okay, yeah, that first James Franco one, they actually allude to the Icarus in there in the newspaper articles. So
It's on the
if they
news. No, it's on the news. They showed
and
it
the
on
news. Well, and the newspapers too.
Oh, I didn't even know.
The news covers the launch. The newspaper, it says "Lost in Space."
I would not want that role to try and replace Heston. That's a guy. As we saw Brent, who nowadays? What actor could do that? I feel like
That's a tough task.
he
I
might
feel
be
like
too
it'd be
old.
a Chris Pratt or something like that.
No, Chris Pratt has
do
the
it.
no. Chris Pratt does,
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
But his look, he
Kingdom
looks
of the
that part.
Planet of the Apes. He does not look like Charlton Heston at all. At all.
Well, he looks that grizzly
Not
man.
signing with you, Taylor, on this.
I feel like you got to get someone that has a weird aura, and I think he's too old now. But like Nick Cage a decade ago, maybe could have done it.
No, you need that 70s grizzled man look. The men of today look different than the men of the 70s. So
Who's
that's
grizzled?
why
True. Something in
that's
the
why I
water.
feel like Chris Pratt with that grizzled
He's
beard,
not
but
grizzled at
He's
all.
not grizzled.
No, he's like Hollywood
plump.
grizzled.
like Hollywood grizzled. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
But we don't want
actually.
that.
No.
We'll circle back to this. That's
Willem
gonna at the
Dafoe.
end. Willem Dafoe, fuck. Maybe
Maybe.
Skipper at least.
Skipper, yeah, you'd be Skipper.
He just has a massive monologue.
No,
like before he just his burial.
like 10 minutes. No, I feel like if you get Dafoe, he's got to be one of the apes. He would fucking kill it as one of the apes. He would go hard on that. And that's where like they already screwed it up once where like I don't think Mark Wahlberg technically plays him, but he's like the astronaut type. And again, terrible way to go. Heston and Mark Wahlberg. It's like that's nowhere in the same ballpark of type of actor.
Well, then that's great then, because if Mark Wahlberg was the follow-up, then the next guy is just gonna be the follow-up to Mark Wahlberg, so we don't have to worry about it anymore.
What about this? Clay, I know he's listening. I think he's the most hyped for our Patreon ones. Legit. What about Boyd Holbrook? I think Boyd Holbrook could play. I think he kind of has some of that
Savages.
with the nukes. But like, I legitimately think Boyd Holbrook could have that kind of vibe where he's kind of an asshole, kind of charming, kind of off kilter. I think he could.
I have to see him like really grizzled with that face scruff and everything. Not
Even pull him up a Logan. Pull him up. Just put Boyd Holbrook in Logan. He has like that beard and stuff. Maybe it'll be a little bit different, but. I'm thinking Boyd Holbrook. That's who I would think,
Fuck, that is pretty good actually.
I'm telling you, I want it. Get him on that Icarus mission, Predator didn't work out for him. Let's get him. Oh, you pulling him up?
There's your Taylor for.
Yeah, I can
Planet of the
see
Apes
it.
movie.
Maybe you gotta obviously don't have the
More
sideburn
of
cut
Brent,
yet.
I think.
More of Brent? No, I don't want to be Brent. Oh,
6
no.
months we'll be running this planet.
Why does he speak like that?
Oh, that was a bad impression. That's
No,
my
like, what
boy
line-
Taylor. Oh, that's
what-
what he says in the first movie. Remember, that's what Taylor says when they crash the ship. In
Oh,
6 months we'll
right,
be running
okay.
this planet.
I thought you were saying Boyd said in the movie. Like, I don't remember Boyd saying that in any movie he's
Like
been
Indiana
in.
Jones? Is that
Logan. Yeah.
It goes back
Predator.
in time. 6 months we'll be running this planet.
They could have if they played their card rights with those guns instead of just spamming the shots. They could have sat back, let the war go down, and then just take over. But go check out our Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny. Let us know. We'll keep looking. By the end of this retro, we'll have. That's still my pick, but I'm open for some other picks. Let us know in the comments. Let us know, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, who should be the next Taylor, Brent, Skipper, Nova, all that good jazz. We'll be back next week with Escape of the Planet of the Apes, or Escape from the Planet of the Apes. It won't be boring.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.